Dr. Shannon PT with another episode of Need to Know in 5. Today we're going to be talking about returning to school, but in your home. So as many of you, just like me, our kids are going back to school, but they're going back with online schooling. And so this time I want to be better prepared for my kids sitting at home and being on their different devices. The first thing that it starts with sitting at a desk or sitting anywhere for a longer period of time is going to be the chair and posture. So for some people, they may have something like this, an office chair that has different features like down here where it has a height adjustment for the chair. This chair doesn't have very many adjustments, it really just has this one for the height, but you do have some office chairs that can do different things as the back height here or the armrest. So what you want to do is if you have an office chair that has any adjustments, take advantages of those first. And oftentimes on the little knobs and stuff like that, they'll usually have pictures to give you an idea of what parts they adjust. Now, since a lot of office chairs aren't made for kiddos, a lot of times even after you do adjustments, you still might have to do a couple things to try to make it fit a little bit better for your kids. So what I recommend, or if you don't have an office chair and maybe you're sitting at a dining room table, is looking into different types of footrest. And so this is a very easy way to basically bring the ground up to your kids' feet. And so this is really important, and if you just saw the little adjustment that I made, you really want it to be at a 90-degree angle at the ankle, 90-degree at the knee, and 90-degree at the hip. You don't want a child's legs dangling in either barely touching the floor or not touching the floor at all, because it increases the pressure behind their legs and actually can stop their blood flow. It makes their legs tingly, so definitely not a comfortable feeling. All right, now we're gonna look at different options for the desks or table surfaces. So here in the office, I have a high-low desk, and so you can see the buttons here. You could adjust them for however high or low, which is comfortable for use for the child. So there's other options out there that you can get that are just supplemental desk parts that you can buy and you can purchase and you can put just on a regular desktop or table surface that can go high-low. Or maybe you just need something simple like this, where it's just considered a riser. And this one's great because it's adjustable here. It's got 3 different adjustments. And so maybe that's all you need to help bring the monitor or keyboard level up to make it more comfortable for your child when they're working on their desktop. If you are getting something with a high-low surface and your child's going to be standing, you want to make sure that maybe you're on carpet, maybe they're wearing a good pair of sneakers if they're on like a tile or a hardwood floor, or you can also get even one of those kitchen or bath mats for them to stand on to provide them with a little bit of extra cushion is great support for them if they're going to be doing some time in standing at a standing desk. So when you're utilizing your desk, you really want to make sure that you're lined up, again at about a 90-degree angle. So that is the bend that you want in the elbow for sitting. And the reason why is you don't want the arms too high, because then that's going to hurt the shoulders and the elbows and potentially the wrist. But the bigger problem is usually that things are too low, and especially with something like a laptop or iPad, our kids are tending to have to lean over to be able to type. And so that's one of the biggest things that I see with poor positioning in children is that things typically tend to be too low for them. And so instead they're bringing their body curved down to reach those devices. So by using these different high-low surfaces is a great way to bring everything up to have them in a nice, erect, upright position. The other thing is a lot of kids nowadays are using iPads, right? And those are also very hard to type on. So what I recommend is start teaching your kids now about dictation. And so a lot of the programs that children use nowadays are already equipped with this technology to use dictation. And so this is a great way to allow them to still do everything that they need to do for work and school, but allow them that opportunity to maintain more of an upright positioning and then also give those hands a break from all the technology. If you do run into something where maybe dictation isn't an option, you can look into something like this. A Bluetooth wireless keyboard is also a great accessory to use as well, which is much more ergonomic for them to type on versus their iPad. Other things that you can have on hand to make sitting at a desk a much more comfortable experience is different things like this. This is a wrist rest for when you're using the mouse. This one's great. It's made out of beanbag material. So So it's soft and it moves around with the wrist, but it's also kind of fun for kids, especially if they like to kind of fidget while they're doing any type of work. There's also different keyboard cushions, something like this. They make them in foam and gel, and just again, a great way to provide some extra support to their body and make them more comfortable while they're using their different forms of technology. One of the last things that I like to recommend is to be mindful that kids really don't like to sit for a very long period of time. Their bodies need to get up and they need to move. So usually between 15 minutes to an hour is a great time to take a movement and stretch break. So make sure that you're encouraging that as well when you're working on your stay-at-home studies. Thanks so much for watching. See you next time on another episode of Need to Know in 5.